Hello and welcome. This is Igor Stenmark of MGI Research. We are at the 2021 Monetize Forum, and for our next session, we're going to be focusing on the topic of innovation, specifically as it applies to the area of monetization. And to talk about this area, we've invited our next guest, Mr. Youssef Yaghmour. Youssef is the CEO, co-founder, and chief architect of for a company called BluLogix. And when we think of BluLogix and the team behind it, including Youssef, we think of guys who are really intellectual top guns when it comes to monetization, enterprise software in general, but monetization specifically. So welcome, Youssef. Happy to have you here. Let's get started. Maybe to begin, could you give us just a sense about BluLogix, just to introduce the company, what you guys do, what really differentiates you?
Thank you, Igor, and thank you for the kind words. We appreciate the recognition in the market. BluLogix offers a comprehensive, a turnkey monetization solution. And by solution, I don't only mean the platform. This is probably one of the strong areas where BluLogix focuses on, and the market recognizes BluLogix as a provider of technical excellence, if you like. And there are two aspects basically to that. First, the platform itself. It's a comprehensive platform. It does provide a solution, an end-to-end, if you like, automated solution for the monetization process, starting from the CRM on one side, ending with the ERP on the other. So a CPQ, an order management and activation, a billing of all kinds of subscription, recurring, consumption, with the advanced rules that you require to manage all of that. There are good examples that we could talk about during the presentation. And then revenue management. And with the revenue management, you need to manage not only the revenue recognition by the ASC 606 standard, but there's also the aspect of margin analyzer. How much money is the company really making on every product, every channel, every customer from every provider? That's the platform side. And the other one, we really focus on partnering with the customer to take them through the digital transformation journey, the monetization journey. We don't just provide them a platform and tell them this is how it works, go ahead and figure it out yourself. We will spare the time and effort to actually partner with the customer and take them through the full journey. In the onboarding process, we engage with them in a detailed discovery process that identifies what's their current state, how they are doing business today, what's their business objective, and actually share some of the best practices and experience that we have, or we have seen with other similar case studies, share it with them and take them through that journey successfully. So we basically partner with them every step of the way to make sure they are successful in that. That's probably what categorizes and identifies BluLogix.
So you guys do a lot of different things. You have a lot of different capabilities in your core platform. How would you describe sort of the ideal use case for your solution? I know that you guys focus a lot on certain industries like unified communications. You also have a kind of a specialty in handling very complex channel-oriented business models. What is the ideal use case? Because you can't be doing everything, obviously.
Of course. I think what puts us unique in the market is when the service that the provider offers to the market has some degree of complexity, where you actually have to manage services beyond just $10.99 a month subscription, where you have to control and manage service details about the service that you offer, where you have to mediate a lot of data from different sources, where you have to provision services, where you have to interact with multiple platforms, either to activate the service or to receive the consumption or the billing load or the workload that you have to bill the customer for, where you have to exchange data with multiple platforms. Like I said, we started with talking about the CRM on one side and the ERP on the other. Take an example of the CRM. We have a CPQ functionality, but the CPQ really works hand in hand with the CRM. You manage all the opportunities in the CRM. You manage all of your marketing campaigns in a CRM. But then when you decide to create a quote, that's when there has to be seamless integration. So these are some of the areas that we are considered to be unique. And then we offer very powerful capabilities. In terms of industries, we obviously have a large number of customers in the UCaaS and cloud space. That has recently expanded to also cover the infrastructure as a service. So we consider that as one block. Most of the MSPs in the US market usually offer all three services. So that's where we started, and we still focus on that a lot. Recently, we expanded into SaaS, and we've managed to acquire some very reputable and large enterprise SaaS providers. One of the challenges they face, and I'm just using that as an example, is in the SaaS, they have to manage the licenses, they have to manage the entitlement, the roles, the access to the platform, who can use what and what kind of data volume, users, all that. There's complexity in how you manage that service experience as well as customer experience, and that's part of what we do. And we also do have some customers in the IoT space. You've mentioned the channel, and in the channel, we have some unique capabilities that allows you to build an N-tier channel structure to serve your agents, serve your resellers, give them branding capability, give them full autonomy where they can manage their customers, own their customers, offer their brands, their branded invoice, their branded even customer access portal. We offer that in multiple languages. We handle tax complexity across the different channel levels so that resellers and agents don't have to suffer because they don't know how to handle compliance and how to handle tax filing, etc. So these are some of the capabilities that we cover.
Great, great. So I want to kind of drill into this main topic of our session on innovation. So customers are being told innovation is great by business press, by us, by analysts. We want it. We kind of understand intrinsically that innovation will help them differentiate their business, hopefully, and create a sustainable advantage over time. But the question I hear in the field a lot in our practice from customers and clients is like, listen, I want to innovate, but in the meantime, I have 10% invoice dispute rate. I'm leaking 5% of my revenue on $5 billion. I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough people. When do I have time to innovate? And when pandemic happens. So given all that backdrop, like always kind of a top line drive to innovate, what have you seen in the field? How are companies innovating? How are we leveraging perhaps some of the monetization tools that you guys have to innovate? Tell us some war stories. What's happening?
When we think of subscription, some people think that this is something relatively new to the market. And I still remember the days when the concept of application service provider was introduced to the market. And this is probably more than 15 years ago. I'm sure you remember that. Actually, ASP, or application service provider, was nothing but a multi-tenant subscription-based SaaS. That's basically what it was. It wasn't popular, market didn't understand it, so it never took off. That's what really subscription is all about. Today, another example that crosses my mind is the concept of corporate jet, the shared corporate jet. There are many corporates today that use corporate jet service, but they don't really own a dedicated jet. They share the ownership of that. That concept of time sharing of cost and time sharing of assets is really the concept of subscription that we refer to as subscription today. You wouldn't be surprised in the very near future that this concept will transfer and transform into something called subscription. So instead of 4 companies sharing a jet, it'll be you subscribe to a company that offers that service, and then you just pay a monthly fee or some usage-based fees, and then you can go ahead and use that. And that's really the subscription. So when you talk to those service providers that are transforming their business, and especially because of the pandemic, the advice is, yes, go ahead and transform your business from the conventional concept where you have to sell on-premise, where you have to sell perpetual service, or when you do it the conventional way, forget that old method, because the pandemic forced people not to pay upfront payments. We have a customer that actually used to be in the licensing of large enterprise platforms and customer support and maintenance, annual maintenance. We know from the challenge of the pandemic at the beginning of the year that for 6 months they were not able to add a single contract to their revenue. And the only option that they had was to, well, let me redefine my services. And that's the real innovation that you have to do, is forget the old way that you used to do the methods, and then start offering your services either on consumption, on demand, or as some kind of an annual or monthly or quarterly subscription. And that actually helps your customers who are having some difficulty managing the cash the way they used to have it in the past. So be innovative about how you repackage your service offering to the market. Like I said, instead of upfront payment and permanent solutions or on-premise solution, think of how you can help them pay monthly or pay quarterly for services like that. Part of that innovation is actually the positive impact of the valuation of your company when you do that, because the subscription revenue is more permanent, it's repeatable, it's recurring, so it's more guaranteed than a one-time off that you can create your business around. And that grows the business, and that brings you more traffic, and that brings you more customers, basically about that. One very strong advice I would use to customers that are embarking on this journey is try to use a fresh team members, basically, that are not necessarily the same people that used to do the conventional business. You need some kind of fresh blood to help you do that and go through that journey. And to avoid these challenges of billing disputes and revenue gaps and unpredicted margins, think of the right platform that you have to use. If you can identify a platform that does have most of the engines that you need for your monetization journey, then that's the platform that you should choose. Obviously, before you do that, look at your business needs and do your homework on selecting the platform. I want it to sound neutral when I'm offering that advice, whether, we would love for them to come and join us when they choose that. But my advice to everyone is do a little bit of homework. Look at some use cases that those providers, can offer you, just to make sure that they have a proper understanding of your business. And that's an honest advice to those that are considering the transformation journey. That's for sure the fact. So the more automation you can have, the engine that can be comprehensive, the partner that can be, the provider that can be a true partner with you throughout the journey, not only as a platform provider, and that's the end of the relationship.
So to summarize, some of the things that you've mentioned are get a platform, get a fresh set of talent, basically try to search and recruit top talent, and really position your business for being able to handle recurring subscription usage-based pricing models in order to really move a company forward and kind of reposition it broadly. Is this realistic in a kind of as we are in 2021, and is this realistic in a pandemic type environment? I mean, companies have, like, they're always trying to balance saying, I want to innovate, but right now I can't, I'm just too busy. I will innovate at some point in the future. Is this realistic, do you think?
Well, I can give you a couple of examples from just existing opportunities of companies in the hospitality business, for example. They have seen 40% drop in their business because of the pandemic challenges, but this pandemic is going to be over, hopefully in the near future. This is not the end of business, and this is not the end of life. So why not take advantage of that to do some kind of restructuring and to do some kind of process re-engineering, so you can be more efficient, you can be more scalable, you can look for new revenue streams. And that's exactly what they did. They took a step back, they've reevaluated what they could do, and they decided that instead of, for example, selling a point of sale system to a restaurant or a hotel, and you collect the money upfront when the hotel itself is actually having more than 40% reduction of their revenue. Let's change that into, for example, seasonal subscription billing. So I'm going to charge you for the 2 peak seasons that you have when you sell the service to your customers, and when you have traffic from customers, that's when you pay me. Of course, it may sound that you are taking a hit on your revenue, but you're actually protecting the long-term relationship that you have with your client. And that's a very good example of how you can be creative about repurposing and restructuring your business. You're still providing the same point of sale system. You're still providing the same voice services that you are providing to that hotel, but you've just changed the packaging and changed the way you're collecting money from the customer, and you've made the customer's life easy in this case. So that basically strengthens and creates a new dimension and a new revenue stream for you. Maybe not immediately, but in the near future. This is a must-do exercise, Igor, because pandemic was just a kind of a warning. It's something to wake up, and something isn't going to last long. You know, customers were not going to continue to pay $2-3 million upfront for a perpetual license or an on-premise infrastructure. Today, we know big names. I'm trying to stay away from giving you examples of actual names, but we know the big players in the space and in the industry, for example, in the technology space, are no longer selling boxes just for an upfront price. They're actually shipping the box, and you pay as you go, and they take care of the maintenance. And in a couple of years, they'll probably ship you another upgrade, and you don't have to worry about managing all of that. That means your IT infrastructure has completely changed because you're no longer having people to actually manage these services. So recognizing and admitting that the industry is changing, the technology is changing, the service offering is changing, this is the time to restructure and be more innovative. So turn around that challenge and that downtime that the industries are witnessing because of COVID into something that will be very productive for you in the future.
Youssef, we're almost at the end of our session here. I wanted to ask you one closing question, and thank you for this discussion here. What is, and it's more related to BluLogix specifically, what is one thing that every C-level, CEO, CFO must know about BluLogix, but they don't know right now?
We would like for them to know that we are partners with them. We're not here to simply just sell them a license of a software on a subscription basis, because that's how we offer our technology. We're not here to sell it to them and walk away. We would like to partner with them. When we talk to the CEO, the first thing that we want to talk about is, how do you grow your business? How do you add new revenue stream? The platform that you offer, the services that we offer, is actually to focus on that. We will help every CEO through that journey, and for that matter, the chief revenue officer and the chief business officer. So revenue growth is one area that we focus on as we embark on a new journey with every one of our customers. We try to focus on that. We try to give our partners use cases. Here is how you could do it. Here is how you can repackage. On the CFO side, we also show companies and partner with companies to make the platform, the journey, very scalable. The business is repeatable. The delivery of service is streamlined, unified. So their journey is scalable, their service offering is scalable, and the management of that infrastructure and the management of that journey is very efficient and very profitable, and the cost is efficiently managed. Giving the CFO visibility into how much money that CFO is making on every product from every customer is a great value, and that's one of the areas that we focus on.
Thank you, Youssef. Appreciate you participating in the forum. And I'd like to remind everybody to visit BluLogix booth in the virtual exhibits area. And we hope to see you back at the next Monetize event. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Igor. Thank you.